Good morning, everybody. We are live on this lovely Friday morning. I'll just give it a few moments to allow anybody to join us live today as we continue to read from Luke chapter 9. Today we're reading from verse 37 through to 43a. Sort of halfway through verse 43 this story ends. So if you've got a Bible and you want to follow it, feel free to do so. Luke 9 verse 37 to 43. Morning, Carl. Morning, David. Glad you can join us live, or join me live. Just to say, in case you didn't know, that these daily thoughts have all been saved on Facebook. So if you wanted to go right back to the beginning of Luke, you'd be able to do that and see a thought for each day based upon the passage that's been read. And we've been reading through Luke's Gospel, and as I said, we're into chapter 9, and I'm going to read from verse 37 through to 43a, and then just share a couple of thoughts based upon this passage. So it says in verse 37 of Luke 9, the next day when they came down from the mountain, a large crowd met him. A man in the crowd called out, "Teacher, I beg you to look at my son, for he is my only child. A spirit seizes him, and he suddenly screams. It throws him into convulsions so that he foams at the mouth. It scarcely ever leaves him and is destroying him. I begged your disciples to drive it out, but they could not." "Oh, unbelieving and perverse generation," Jesus replied, "how long shall I stay with you and put up with you? Bring your son here." Even while the boy was coming, the demon threw him to the ground in a convulsion. But Jesus rebuked the evil spirit, healed the boy, and gave him back to his father. And they were amazed at the greatness of God. I think that the passage that was read yesterday, you may have followed it. I think, Bear was wanting to get on the devotion today, my dog. He's been taken away. The passage that Meg read from yesterday was about the transfiguration of Jesus on the mountain with Moses and Elijah, and the immediacy of the change from that moment of goodness, of seeing who God was, to an immediate vision of evil would have only enhanced how evil the situation was regarding this boy that was possessed by an evil spirit. And sometimes, it takes seeing something evil, seeing something dark, seeing something unimaginable to realize just how good Jesus is. And I think for the disciples that witnessed both of these occasions, it would have only enhanced the need for helping people to understand the goodness of God and the goodness of Jesus, because they just witnessed him talking with Moses and Elijah on a mountaintop. They'd heard God describing his son Jesus, and they would have been probably on a real high coming back down this mountain as to what they'd just witnessed. But then they get interrupted suddenly by this boy. And I think for us, as we look on, we can take two things from this really quickly. Firstly, it's just that reminder that when we see how negative or bad the world can sometimes be, it should only make us look up and look to God. And secondly, we see that Jesus was quite surprised at the lack of faith that his disciples had in terms of them not being able to heal this boy. And Jesus says to them, basically, "Come on, guys, why haven't you got the faith to do that?" But ultimately, Jesus then took it upon himself to heal this boy and did so. But be encouraged as you look around the world today and you see the evil, you see the trouble, you see the terrible things that go on. Be encouraged that there is goodness, and that goodness is Jesus. And that instead of looking down and looking negatively at the things of this world, do your best to look up and see him who is above all and is good and wants to enter into your life and my life today through that goodness. So have a great day. Be encouraged. When you see the negative and bad things that are happening in this world, always try and look for the good. Have a great day.